Excuse me and you are not finished with this flat earth thing. Check this out.
Yes, we're talking about Babylon. What does that got to do with flat earth and the firmament? You'll see. Now, we all have heard about Babylon and the Tower of Babel and all that, how Babylon's always starting some BS in the Bible. Check this out. So look at this ancient map of the world. It's the Hebrew version of what their conception was of the universe. And here's how all the ancient civilizations depicted the universe and the world. And this is how NASA's website actually depicts our current world. Oops, I wasn't supposed to show that, huh? Hey, but we're talking about Babylon. Stay focused here. So this is how the Babylonian pictured the universe and their cosmos. Very similar, huh? Waters above, firmament, all that good stuff. Yes. The Babylonians were like, they thought of themselves as like the elites from back then. I mean, these guys wanted full control, okay? Does that sound like anybody nowadays? Anyway, you ever wonder why they built the tower so high up the sky? Like, they really wanted to reach something. What did they want to reach? Let's find out. I mean, these guys knew there was something above us. I don't know, maybe God? Hey, let's not get so edgy here, okay? So these guys knew there was a firmament above us. And like today's elites, they're trying to break it. Don't ask. Now, there was a ruler who was behind all of this. The Bible describes him as great. Not in a good way, just great in power. He became a very powerful man. He thought of himself as a god. He wanted to reach the highest heaven. He wanted to be worshipped. And he was going after something. He was going to accomplish it. Sort of like today's elites, huh? It's a lot of information to fit all in one video. Part 2 is going to be juicy. A ruler full of pride. Oh, this all ties into the flat earth. Follow for part 2. I'm back. You asked for it, and here it is. Babylon and the flat earth, part 2. So in the previous episode, we left off with a mighty ruler. A man who tried to challenge the almighty God himself. A man so powerful, the Bible refers to him as a mighty warrior and a great hunter. He built an empire so strong. So what was his mission? Global domination. Who was this ruler of the Mesopotamian Empire? It was no other than Nimrod, and in the Sumerian text known as Gilgamesh. He was the mastermind behind the tower in Babylon, aka modern-day Iraq. Now, before we get into the tower, there's plenty of speculations linking Nebuchadnezzar to have been the ruler during this time. However, though they share a lot of similarities, it couldn't have been. King Nebuchadnezzar ruled during the captivity of the Israelites, which was centuries after the ruling of Nimrod. Now, in the book of Genesis, it says that Nimrod was the son of Cush, who was the son of Ham, who was the son of Noah, making him Noah's great-grandson. But in various statues and findings of Nimrod, he's shown carrying a lion, as if it was a puppy. But the book of Genesis refers to him as a great mighty warrior and a hunter. But in the times of Noah, when the Bible referred to men as mighty or great, it usually meant they were giants. And in most of his archaeological findings, he's found to be taller than the rest, an oppressor who wanted to gain glory off of the sweat of the backs of those under his domain. And in a lot of ancient findings, he's always appearing to be larger than the rest, like twice the size of a normal human. But he was an evil, prideful man. It's said that his forefathers were tall too. But how does this tie into the flat earth and a tower that reached the heavens? So welcome back to part 3 of the Babylon and the flat earth / firmament series. So this one's gonna be short, but I need y'all to see this and then hop on over to part 4, which is already posted. I think you're gonna like that. These are emails, classified emails that were leaked from Miss Hillary Clinton requesting the sightings or the burial ground of Gilgamesh in an email. You can look this up yourself. Here's the reason why, apparently, allegedly, they wanted to find the body, which they allegedly have already found, of Gilgamesh / Nimrod. To extract the DNA and bring them back to life? Check these images, this video.
Y'all, this series is only getting crazier. Welcome back to part 4, Babylon and the Flat Earth / Firmament. Here we go.
Previously, we spoke about a mighty warrior, a great hunter before the Lord, by the name of Nimrod. Now, I know we covered a little bit about Nimrod and how he was a giant and a great ruler for the Mesopotamian Empire during the Tower of Babel. And you might be wondering, how does this all tie in together with the flat earth and the firmament? Well, in order to tie it all up together, we have to go back a little bit. We have to dig in a little deeper into history, like back before the flood, back to the fallen angels of Genesis. Now, in the book of Genesis 6, when it says that the number of humans on earth began to increase and daughters were born to humans, the sons of God saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful. For those who argue that the sons of God were also humans in the line of Seth, you're incorrect. The book of Job also regards angels and hosts as the son of God. And they married any of them as they chose. Now, these were the fallen angels who saw that the daughters of humans were attractive, and they left their first estate in the spiritual realm to become physical so that they can mate with the daughters of humans. And they bore them sons, and these sons were giants, aka Nephilims, because of the cross of DNAs of celestial beings and mortal beings. Human beings. You don't believe me? Check this out. Giants have been a part of us pretty much through all mankind history. Here are some of the forefathers of Nimrod. This was considered the regular height for men before the flood. Here are some mountains and rocks that are said to be petrified giants, still till this day. This is one that looks like a giant laying down. You can kind of see the face, the eyes. Not sure, but it does resemble one.
Hey, don't scroll nowhere. Before we get into part 5 of this Babylon and the Flat Earth / Firmament, part 5, I want to clarify a few comments out there I'm getting. Not many. Most of y'all are enjoying this series and I'm loving it. One person asked me, and it's a good question, about the relevancy to this and salvation. Well, we all know salvation is through Christ, well, at least most of us. But if we study our origins and where we come from, that might lead someone to Christ by seeing the biblical facts and history combined with science. Another person tried to tell me that I'm dragging the series on and not getting to the point of how Babylon and Flat Earth tie in together. Well, in order to present the central idea, I have to present the semantics, and I believe I also have to lay the foundation. Otherwise, it won't make sense, and take it back into the context of biblical history. It's an in-depth Bible study. I hope you enjoy. Welcome to part 5. Now, did someone mention a flood? Not yet. Hold on. In our last chapter, we discussed Nephilims, who were hybrids that were created from the crossbreed of celestial beings that came into human form so that they could mate with the daughters of men. So who were these giants? They were the mighty men of renown, as per the Bible. And what did they do for the Almighty to look down on them? Nothing less but atrocious acts upon humanity, the original creation of God. From the most horrific acts to cannibalism, destroying everything that came upon their sight, abusing the strength, height, and power they had over the human. And just like them and their fathers, believing of themselves as the owners, the lords, and the gods of this world, not giving God any of the glory for his own creation. Their fathers, or the fathers of the Nephilims, which were the fallen angels, taught humanity all about witchcraft and all kinds of secrets that humans weren't supposed to know, because here we are. And evil rituals, and how to create weapons of mass destruction. These guys were above and beyond to provoke the Most High into anger. So, what happened to the spirits of these beings, since they weren't originally created by God, but half-breed of man, half-breed celestial? When they died, their spirits became into what we now know as demons, roaming the earth, committing havoc. Wait, you've making it all the way to part 6 of Babylon and the Flat Earth is no coincidence. Welcome back. Enjoy. Previously, we spoke of the Nephilims and what happens to their spirits once they die. Genesis chapter 6 says that the Nephilim roamed the earth during those days and after, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans, and keynote, humans, no need to mention there were humans if the sons of God were, and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown. The book of Genesis seems to imply that the flood did away with all of these giants, but it also implies that they were here after the flood. The word Nephilim means the fallen, or the ones that cause others to fall. And God saw that the evilness in the world increased numerously, and that every thought of every man was evil all the time. The inclinations of their heart were wickedness, causing the Creator to have to destroy what he had created with his own hands, only to rebuild it back up again. But there was only one man that God saw as righteous in the whole world. He was no other than Noah. And God told him to build an ark in a land that has never seen rain, because the earth would let off a mist that watered its own nature. An ark that would hold him, his wife, his 3 sons, and the wives of his 3 sons, and a pair of every living creature, female and male. Then this happened. And so it was, God unleashed a huge flood upon the earth,
the fountains of the deep were open, every geyser, and the firmament opened its fountains and windows, water below as above, to drown every living creature and cleanse the earth once again, to give mankind another chance. Welcome to part 8, Babylon and Flat Earth / Firmament. Well, what do we hear? Oh, it's just Nimrod's giant behind, looking like a big old spear. I know, that was so corny. Where did we leave off? Oh yeah. So, once the floods came down and the water started ceasing and drying up, it was literally almost after a year. Noah had to stay in the ark for a whole year till the waters came down. And once the land dried up, Noah parked that big old ship on Mount Ararat, as the Bible says. Oh yeah, did you know that if you Google Noah's Ark today, it's still in Mount Ararat and you can actually see? All right, fine, I'll do it for you. There it is, still till today. But let's get to the juicy stuff. So we all know that God made a sign in the heavens that depicts the firmament like a dome to show us that he'll never open those floodgates up there again to drown the whole earth. So once Noah and his family parked that ship and got out to land, well, some real interesting, disturbing things happened. Now, mind you, in Genesis, God said that Noah was pretty much the only righteous man. It never said his wife was, or his children, or the wife of his children. So they pretty much got lucky because they were with Noah. So Noah started planting a vine and it grew nice and thick and got drunk and passed out in his tent naked. Now, Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Genesis is not too specific, but it says that Ham, his youngest son, came into the tent and saw his father naked. Well, it says he saw his father's nakedness. Then he went to his other 2 brothers to brag about it. Then his other 2 brothers came walking backwards with some sheets and covered their father. So when Noah woke up from his drunkenness, he realized what his son had done to him, and he cursed him. Well, cursed his descendants and sent them on his merry way. But what exactly did Ham do to his father that led him to curse his descendants? And what did the Bible mean by Ham seeing his father's nakedness? What does that have to do with Nimrod? Well, Nimrod comes from the bloodline of Ham. Actually, follow and like. Let's see what happens in part 9.